Welcome back, Valorant fans, to Stage 2, Challengers 2 of the Valorant Champions Tour. My name's still Tanner Metro. I'm still joined by Dust, and I think, was it an earthquake? What was that? Something happened on Earth. Andbox really just shocked the world, right? Andbox, huge win over Sentinels on Haven, 15-13 in double overtime. Now up one map, and we're headed to Split.
Indeed, and Split's going to be common ground for both these teams, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Sentinels, again, one of the titans of the region, need over 80% win rate on this map and 44 games played. Again, very strong win rates on both sides of the map, just like on Haven. But as we see here on Haven, it didn't go that way, right? They fell behind early. They did claw their way back and keep it a close contest, but Andbox never let them fully surpass them, or at least not for long, as they come out and win it in double overtime.
And so now to kind of give back to the Sentinels fans, or to kind of lean towards that side, just because I don't want anybody to be too unhappy, this is something that we talked about in the middle of the game, and it was there is, if not any, very little information or VODs or any kind of demos to be able to watch for Sentinels on Andbox on Haven. They don't play it all that often. Historically, they add 2 new players to the roster, and they haven't played it since those 2 players have been added. So that obviously could be that X factor that makes this that much closer of a map. As we take a look at, I mean, the headshot percentage, pretty sick. Frag wins 13-12. So, you know, these teams were really just here to stand and bang on Haven.
Yeah, I mean, again, Mata getting an MVP performance. Obviously, Tens was out there trying his damnedest to keep it as close as he could, and he definitely had some big plays, but just not enough. We just saw such a great performance from really everyone over on the Andbox side of things. Just, you know, firing on all cylinders is kind of the common, I don't know, trend that we kind of use a little bit, but it fits in this situation, right, to say that. But again, now we go on to Split, a map that, again, Sentinels do not drop very often. They've only dropped it maybe 3 or 4 times in like their last 20 matches played. Again, over 80% win rate overall. Again, over 60% win rate on both sides of the map. So very similar to Haven, basically. But Andbox, historically, a very strong Split team, right? They are near 80% in their own right as far as win rate goes as a core. However, since this 5 has come together, they have lost 3 of their last 4 matches, and they have not really beaten like a big name team on this map yet, right? Their wins are against like Noble, Space Station Gaming, Virtuoso. They haven't beaten like a top 10 team on this map, right? Meanwhile, Sentinels have done that on a regular basis, even with the whole Tens mix-up coming into the team. So with that said, I would say Sentinels probably have an even bigger advantage on this map than they did on Haven, just considering, you know, their most recent results from Andbox and some of the struggles that they've had. Now, granted, their losses have been usually very close, but still, they haven't really proven anything on it. But the same could have been said about Haven, because they didn't play it at all. So they definitely didn't prove anything on that map yet, but they just did against Sentinels. So honestly, man, it's hard to say. Like, does you know, Sentinels wake up from that and kind of rise to the occasion and take a map that should be theirs? Or is this the sign that Andbox is going to, you know, just pull off the full-on upset? No, definitely this is a map where we might be seeing some Astra, particularly from the Sentinel side of things, so that might be one like little X factor, I suppose. But yeah, other than that, not sure what to expect.
And so that is something that you have to take into consideration, right? Whenever you're talking about Sentinels, depending on the team playing them, is the caliber of team that Sentinels always finds themselves against is top 6, usually 1 through 6 is where they're playing, as they make their way through a lot of these brackets, and the percentages can kind of be skewed, and it's kind of hard to do that head to head, whereas like you said, Andbox doesn't really have the same, I guess, pedigree when it comes to, you know, the playing Noble, which I think Noble have been looking fantastic. It's not 100 Thieves, it's not Envy, it's not, you know, teams like that are really going to challenge you. So this will be one of the first challenges we see for Andbox with this roster on Split, taking on Sentinels. Now that we're headed to Split, though, we had that head-to-head in Ye and Sick, and Ye back on the Jet on Haven. Is that what we're expecting? Or on Split, I know some teams do like to lean on that Jet op. Or are you assuming just Sage all the way?
Yeah, I think coming into Split, if things stay what they have been, it should be Ye on the stage. Mata will be playing that solo duelist setup. This is where Vice will likely pivot to the Breach. They've been running that a lot on Split as well. And then obviously Seven Boy will kind of remain on their normal agent, so that won't really change it too much. For Sentinels, though, this is where Zons will likely pick up the Astra, and this is one of the maps where Shazam will still play Jet, and then we'll likely see Tins on a different duelist, whether that be Raze or whether that be Reyna is also an option for them. Looks like this time it will be Raze from Tins. So double duelist setup coming in for Sentinels. Shazam back into the trusty Jet, where he'll be able to have his most impact as a fragger, which should maybe even help him out even more. And Sick will be pulling out that Sage. No shocker there. He was a main Sage for such a long time. Now that Sage has kind of come back into the fold a bit, it's nice to be able to see him have that opportunity to play Sage again. Definitely can be very potent with that agent. And then, yeah, we do see that Mata's on the Raze. We do see Boy actually picking up the Breach instead of Vice, and Vice is picking up the Viper. Okay, so this is different. But also, considering the patch we're on, we know how powerful Viper can be.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a worthwhile pivot to put Boy on that Breach, to get Vice on the Viper, and to let Seb pick up the Omen, which he can play. So this is actually a little bit different, but I think it's going to be fruitful. I'm trying to think, has Vice ever played it? I'm trying to think if I can ever recall Vice playing Viper. If he has, it must not be many reps at all in an official match setting.
Yeah, I feel like the Viper pick, I was just about to, it's the Andbox way, right? This is on Split. They played the Viper in the past. I believe it was Coach playing the Viper. Yes. Yeah, now, so it kind of feels like, Coach is just saying, hey, I think this agent is very strong on this map, and this is how we're going to get wins on it. And they might possibly have found a way. You talked about, Vice playing that Breach. Now they have since kind of, moved things around a little bit, saying, all right, let's go. Vice,
yes. Okay, so I was
on the Viper now, and this could be the.
So my suspicions were correct. This will be Vice's first time playing Viper in an official match.
Hey, first time?
First time. Vice's first time on Viper ever.
And it's off to a pretty rough start, as that Poison Cloud unfortunately gets stopped by the Barrier Orb from Sick. So not going to get a whole lot there. It's the entire utility setup from the Viper over towards this A site. Push through mid, gonna net a kill for Mata as they gain control of ropes, and Shazam coming right behind them could get quite a bit of utility. Nice wall by Ye to close things out, and a kill to follow. Unfortunately, that's gonna go down. There's the flank coming on through, and some kills traded right back, but it is still Andbox. No, it's not. It's even now in a 2v2. Nobody in the driver's seat. They just steal it right back, and they're battling for it. The spike still in hand. Shazam still on the flank.
This has been rather chaotic. This mid to ropes push, Shazam with the flank, a stalemate in the back halls, and it's all led down to this 2 versus 2 situation. Both players, or all 4 players really, kind of in similar health situations. Now we do see that Andbox has not given up here at A. They still have their players positioned at A ramps. They're making Shazam second guess that B could be an option, maybe trying to pull him off of ropes so they could get into A heaven. Now they're going to jump in on him, and they get that pick, and now they know that the floodgates have opened, that B should be for the taking. Indeed, Dapper's trying to make that rotation through back halls, but he's going to lose the foot race as his spike will get planted at B, and he has a tough 1v2 ahead of him.
Now, he does have a decent amount of HP, and when you look at the health across from him, it's only a couple of headshots. That's all it's going to take, and that Cam, it's the information that he needed there. The spike, I believe, planted in that new default spot, so you do have to be wary if somebody's playing out towards B main, but instead it's going to be a double peek to high-low towards back of sight, and the damage traded out. To toss out the tripwire, maybe bait the eyes. Unfortunately, that's not going to be enough. The trapwire gets nothing. Mata picks up 2 on the round, and Andbox go right back to work, and they win the pistol.
I guess he was like maybe hoping someone would shoot the tripwire and he would peek on that timing, but no one was going to make that mistake, I feel like. That was such a good little high-low stack there to make it very difficult for Dapper to peek freely and get any type of 1v1 situation. So just, again, well-managed round from Andbox, just getting that mid-control, threatening ropes. Yeah, it got a little bit, messy, but in that 2v2, they played together and they played intelligently, and they come up with the result as a reward. And so now they will go ahead and get those Spectres against the pistols of Sentinels, and they're looking to take very fast B lobby control. Obviously, that Sage Wall can be great for blocking off that initial crossing point to allow you access to B site with coverage. Whether that be because that's your main attacking point, whether it's a little bit of a fake to pull a rotation. So we'll see. Looks like they are bringing this fight that direction. It seems like they do want to commit this way, but Sick, making him pay for it, and can heal up.
Is going to deliver that ult orb on over to Ye. and trade for his life. And because he is playing that Sage, he can heal himself up slowly but surely. He finds his way to 69 HP, but the Arsenal advantage still in favor of Andbox. So if you don't take those long fights and get, tapped in the head by the Sheriff, this should ideally be their round.
Yeah, you would certainly think so. Viper wall down, blocking off ramps in heaven. Trying to put that pressure there. Rotation has been pulled, but that may be maybe more than what he was asking for, honestly, because they are bringing that spike that direction. If they run to the full-on site stack, they could be a problem. And the thing is, there's no time. They can't fall back if this doesn't work out. This could be very brutal, Tanner. This might backfire.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, if you're Sentinels, you just stick to your guns. Like, this is just the way that it goes. Gravity Well gonna pull one in, not gonna find anything just yet. Shazam is there to close it out with the Sheriff at 10s. Looking to pick up a few. Sev now running out of time, running out of space. Picks up one towards heaven. No, not even gonna find that kill. It's Dapper with the frenzy, and it's Sentinels. They didn't even force, and they win the round after pistol, and that really shakes things up.
Yeah, that makes things a little bit dicey for Andbox, just running into the stack. Great Gravwell usage there from Zoms to kind of slow down that final push. They peeked off each other very well, causing disruptions and just kind of doing, multiple bait and switch plays essentially to make that limited firepower work. Now they get to pick up a bunch of free Spectres. Now it's Andbox on the Sheriffs. And so the tides have really turned. And this could be trouble for Andbox early in this half.
The angle there is Dapper. Spots Mata. Crouch walking up looking for the cam. Yay. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Andbox to find a kill to kick things off with the Sheriff in hand. And it was the Sages that did it in the last round. Sage to do it again here in this one. Unfortunately, on the attacking side, you don't really get to stack like we saw Sentinels do. And there it is. A kill traded back to Yay. Resurrection now on a line in the next round. Andbox still looking to make this one hurt.
Yeah, trying to do what they can here. At least they got it 4-on-4. They've done some heavy damage as well. After kind of avoiding that flash, Chin swinging out from heaven freely for that peak as well. Oh, he's been darted. That's a dunzo for Boy.
Yeah,
and scene.
Really a dunzo for Andbox, yeah.
And scene. Hurt call. Don't see Vice doing too much here. Nice little Phantom skin, or Sheriff skin, though. Give him that. Huge fan of the Reaver.
Unfortunately, just doesn't do the same thing that the Ion does, right?
Sure.
The Ion, I'm telling you, the Ion has something. Somebody check the coding, because the Ion, it helps you click heads.
Bro, I could go for some ramen right now for sure. That looks very tasty. Almost looks like kind of like a face with like a blonde beard, and like the eggs are eyes, and like the center of the beard is like a mouth, and maybe like the green and orange things are like big ears, and like it's just a beard.
Lost me on the ears. But I was following along for the rest.
Following along, yeah, I was trying, man. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that's kind of a cool little other way to look at that design. Zons finds opening blood here onto Boy.
And just right over the top of the wall there, you can only see the head. That feels bad, kind of swinging around that A main area when that wall is there, especially when they're not really threatening anything. This is just kind of a scary spot to be.
Sick by trapped them with that slow orb in combination with this Gravwell, and they could get absolutely romped right now by this paint shell. Oh, Boy's already almost taken out again. They're stuck in this corner. Oh my goodness. And the wall's about to fade. Oh my.
I mean, it's just a firing squad. Yay trying to do what he can, but it's just not enough here. And you have to start thinking, what were Andbox looking to get done there?
They were hoping the res and get out, but the combination of the Astra utility with that slow orb from Sick, they had no way out. They were trapped. And they got absolutely run through the blender. That was brilliant combination of abilities there from Sentinels. Great synergy. Mata might find Shazam for free. Hey there. How's it going, Shazam? Got something for you.
Not
do it.
Like this.
Do it. Wait, is he just... Okay.
Maybe trying to grab
I hope
more.
Shazam snaps on him, bro. I
10
would love
times
to
out of
see
10, this goes poorly. Yeah, Mata just...
He's like, man. Yeah.
No way.
Oh, my. You know what they say about that, right? That's a real feels bad. You do hate to see it. But you also, you love to see it at the same time, though. Like, it's a tough dichotomy.
I want to know what the comms are like in that situation.
You know Mata's furious, right? 'Cause he's like, I'm going to get this guy. And then Shazam just gets out and puts the op into him. Sentinel's having a hot start here. We can kind of reel it back into that. That's what's really going on.
This is, again, kind of what was to be expected. I know Haven, we didn't expect a whole lot or didn't know what to expect, but Sentinels, we talked about it before coming into this match. The stronger of the two teams here on this map and definitely proving it. And it's all about the game set. It says wall for wall. We go up top, but 6 still finds 2. And it is just pistols on the side of Andbox, so you can't really hope for too much in response. But that definitely stings when you try and counter-strat that wall and it doesn't go your way.
Bro, you know Sick was licking his chops the moment that he heard them make their own wall. He knew what they were doing. There was no question about what was coming up. So Sick just says, all right, you want to do that? Let me show you what's up. Lines up to spray down. Easy frags for him. And easy pickings for Sentinels as a whole. Like you said, Andbox not really having a whole lot into this round. Very efficient win. Only 1 player lost from Sentinels there. They will go now up 4-1 into round number 6. Full buy, though, now back for Andbox. And they got to start getting something going soon, man. I mean, they're already a map to the good, fair enough. But, again, this is supposed to be common ground. It's supposed to be territory that you're also very comfortable with. And right now, Vice looking very uncomfortable with this whole Viper setup. It doesn't seem to be going the way that they had planned thus far. But things can change here and now that they have that full buy back.
And it's always the Viper setup towards A. That's, you know, to cut off ramps, cut off heaven. It's going to be like that every game, which kind of builds a baseline to get a little awkward. But I'm going to hold on to this thought as Mata goes through with the showstopper. Unfortunately, spikes the ground right in front of him in 10's. Going to give him a taste of his own medicine. Finding that kill. So 1 kill on the board now as trying to jump away is Ye. He does manage to make it out and remove the dart. But another kill to come on through. Andbox looking a little lost here as it was a deep push back towards that spawn. It's actually Seb ulting into the back of the spawn from the shadows. So trying to do something spicy, but it's just not working right now. You just got to go back to the fundamentals if you're Andbox.
They're able to get some beheading control, though, and force players back. And Vice trying to make a little bit of a play there, faking around Ye's wall, but only good for 1. And now Sentinels are starting to clean up. Boy gets 1. He does have the ult, but just no space to work with. 10s will clean him up. 5-1 for Sentinels. And, you know, you were talking about the Viper being a constant at A. You know, you do like that variable because, yeah, that wall you can put up every round, and it makes Sentinels always kind of wonder, hey, are they using that for an execute, or are they using that to kind of fake us out and keep us in place? You'll never really quite know until there's some type of follow-up or whether there's some other actions elsewhere on the map. So it's good to have that constant. But at the same time, you want to be able to be somewhat dynamic, right? Like, maybe you need that utility to start pouring onto B site to help you take it if you're going to go for a B split. So at some point, you may have to come off of that. It just seems like it hasn't really had that much impact. Like, I don't know. Like, it seems like he hasn't really been able to make it sting, so to speak, this utility. The thing is, Viper, you know, in the past was just annoying. Now she can punish you if you try to test her utility, but it doesn't seem like Vice is really getting that value.
And it was, I feel like back in the day for Viper, you just disrespect the utility and it gets no value.
Sure.
Well, if you don't even, like, I guess the inverse on the disrespect here in this one, or what's similar, as Sick picked to that first kill, Seb, having shots on target first, not going to find that kill, unfortunately, with just a Sheriff.
You can see what he was hoping for there when the boom bot went by, but just Sick was too good to snap back.
And just sneaking out of the smoke. They're just completely unaware, peeking up towards heaven. Dapper playing nice and close, just outside the nebula. They absolutely do. They need to try and stop this momentum, ice the kicker a little bit here for Sentinels, because it's just, honestly, after that pistol round, it's the Sentinel show.
I mean, they have Viper's Pit and Rolling Thunder. They need to combo that up for a take and a post plant and try to get around through, make use of those ults. That's what my guess would be on what's coming up, but something's got to give. They might feel like they've only really had 3 buys though this entire half, and so maybe things aren't as bad as it seems on the scoreboard, but from my perspective, it just seems like they look a little bit scrambled. Like they're not quite as fine-tuned as what we saw on Haven with how they move together. And so, yeah, I'm curious if they can get that Rolling Thunder and Viper Spit into play to just, you know, get that 1-2 punch on the site and try to get around. They need something to work.
And trying to make another play towards B work. Epper and Sick playing nice and close into that B main area.
Wow.
Shots on target, but Ye gonna go wide. Dapper to find the kill. There's the neural theft. And if this was the round you thought you were gonna win, well, I have to go back to the drawing board. All of that information given over as that flashpoint looks to clear out ropes. Nobody there for the time being, as all three members out towards mid for Andbox are gonna stack up, drop down, and quite possibly look to make a play. But Shazam is here to shut it down, and we'll see if he does just that.
Yeah, this aggression from Sentinels, the way that they played the periphery of the map has been so effective, and they're also been trading really well out in B Heaven when required, so they're just covering all their bases so well. And yeah, that neural theft obviously gives them the read to worry about ropes position, keep tabs on both Heavens areas. They are going to be able to do just that. They got 2 players here playing the stairs position, ready to go at B Heaven if they feel a take is being sent. And so, again, it's going to be tough to break through this here. Oh, that slow orb, making it even tougher.
Off your feet!
And they still opt into just trying to send it there. Satchel, get away the blast pack and keep 10 safe for now as they look to push onto the side. Dapper still unspotted. He is finally going to go down, but Sick from the back of the side out towards the alley, picking up the kill as that side goes down. And there it is, the execute that you were hoping for, Dust. It was the Rolling Thunder to get on the site. It was the Viper's Pit once they are there, and now this is where the Viper finally starts to get some value. You hop into that ultimate, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. Unfortunately, for Andbox, they don't have a whole lot of damage to trade over either. 33 health on Boy, 73 on Bison. I mean, you're one stray round for both of these players from just falling. Yeah, there it is. You didn't have a whole lot going for you, and it just seems they're always kind of working against the game itself. The slow orb on top of the Rolling Thunder, the low HP as you ult with that Viper ult, and there's already so much chaos. It's just a Sentinel show.
Yeah, it's just that res as well coming into play to get in that man advantage in the retake itself, and Zom just able to catch a couple of big kills like before they even really had to initiate. So Zom's, again, often the one that kind of gets overlooked on this team just because there's so many other stars that have so much impact when it comes to the fragging department or creating openings or just, you know, in general doing their jobs. But Zom's on Astra, it gives him that ability to have even more impact and kind of like a more supportive role, I guess you could say, for the team. And again, the guy's also pretty good in late round situations. Just generally, he's a good decision maker.
This time the Sage Wall used to get over that toxic screen. Mata push onto the side, not able to finish off the kill, and they do pick up 2. They do clear out the site for a second. Shazam being attacked by the flashpoint will finally fall, so Operator off the board, and now we're starting to see some life. It took a little bit, but Andbox are looking to come right back into it. It's all up to Dapper in a 1v3, and this would be detrimental to lose, but instead they will win it out. 2 members remain, and Operator now in hand. Oh no, they put it down actually, so no Operator, but a round 1 nonetheless.
Indeed. Ye's gonna get the, Ye's gonna have the Operator coming into this. You can't sell it back. You picked it up, so I mean, you might as well put it to use.
Oh, that was weird. The overlay didn't show the Operator, but I saw him pick it up, and then I was like, interesting.
It's whatever.
Interesting. Either way, 2 ops on the map now.
Yes, you are correct.
Both of them belong to Shazam as well.
Yes. One being borrowed by Ye.
Yeah.
I don't. Stolen might be the more accurate term. I don't think Shazam was lending it to him of his own free will. That was a good attack though onto B, right? Finally making use of Viper's, you know, abilities, good breach flashes to push Shazam off the elbow, and so yeah, good layered attack. But can they follow that up? Because that has been a rare occurrence.
And it's near misses, right? You saw Mata hopping on the site. That round goes a whole lot more cleanly if Mata picks up that first kill before looking to trade over. And again, Sick just holding it down here. A ramps, nothing is free when you come this way. And again, I don't feel like that Viper utility here, it's doing a whole lot. They're not afraid of it. They're not worried about it. You can see he's been hanging on to that barrier orb to play, I guess, a counter to it. And here it is. So they actually make sure that nobody comes through rope. Steps is going to come on through and find that kill. So Sick to fall. They are going to try and work their way through that slow orb. Zom still on the site and through the sign will eventually fall, only trading a bit of damage back. So Andbox in a really good spot as Ye picks one up on 10s, and that is the stolen operator going to work. It's Shazam, it's Dapper once more here on this A site, looking to clutch things out, and I would imagine they have the economy to just go for it here and look for that Reddit 2v5 play.
Yes, but I mean, it's not getting off the ground, is it? Yeah, just putting the finishing touches onto that one. And on the one hand, Andbox, brilliant attack, right? Just really, well done. Good trades all across the board. But at the same time, it's just Sentinels got so unlucky. Like, Six is caught the slow orb out. Just dunzo. And then Zom's actually perfectly timed the grab well on the A Heaven doorway, but then just got overwhelmed by bullets, and he couldn't fit his own shots in properly. So it's like they were doing some good things, but the timings just worked against them. But obviously that's to Andbox's credit, finding the windows to attack and doing so very well. Yay, big hat trick round at the operator there, making good use of that op he pried out of Shazam's hands the round previous. And now a couple of rounds in a row for Andbox, and maybe they can still make a half out of this. They've been getting dominated, but there's a chance that they can win out, that they keep this one close and keep it competitive.
And as much as I've been harping on the Viper utility over towards that A setup, once you switch over to defense, the Viper gets a whole lot of value, right? Basically, every single round, your utility is going to get a tag on somebody. Unfortunately, this will not be the round for Vice. Zam finds that early kill, and Ye not there to trade it back in time, unfortunately. But it's still that one player on site over towards A, and Zoms, it's the operator holding it down towards screens, and Sick is here as well, actually going to give up the position, so they swap spots. Shazam holding Heaven, and Dapper just being a nuisance here on this B site. Ooh, Seb,
I think he was looking to see if maybe Sick was boosted. Seb, though, catching the timing on the 10s, as you were kind of alluding to. We'll put that smoke down play inside the cage and find Sick through that as well. And now Andbox pose a threat. Rolling Thunder on site. Mata to follow up, and they're getting everything other than Shazam finally striking back, but only good for one.
Only able to pick up one there, and Mata closes it out. So a beautiful hit there. And Andbox, they've been doing this off the back foot, right? I think both rounds that they just won in a row, Vice died off the rip, so they're able to continue to push forward and kind of work around, I guess, the information that they gained from Vice dying.
Also creating that little bit of pressure, right? Pulling some rotations, opening up some pathways elsewhere. And honestly, it just really came down to those two kills in B Heaven. That was everything for Andbox. It allowed them to pull the trigger on the Rolling Thunder and feel confident they could take the site. Shazam just kind of stuck in the back halls with no support at that point, and just Andbox able to get the take, and that's 3 in a row and a chance again to get that 5th round and keep this half close despite the cold start. Despite such brilliant efforts from Sentinels early, they're starting to have some cracks found out here in the foundation. Good dart there from Dapper. We'll find out Mata. Gets him a little bit of intel. Not enough to rotate, though. Not just yet. Tens will take middle just to preemptively. Maybe thinking someone would be there, but he's wrong, and now it's the blast pack in.
Yeah, flash points as well. Boy gonna find the first kill. Dapper usually holding it down well. Unfortunately, the first to fall on this B site. Sick has since rotated. The showstopper doesn't get a whole lot of value for 10s. Boy now on a mounted position underneath Heaven, unspotted in getting there. Taking a drop on down. Cosmic Divide coming through, creating more chaos, but back and forth we go for kills. It's a 3v2. Showstopper to be traded out. Unfortunately, Mata yields the same results there. In a cloud burst, gonna block him out, but Seb once more on the backstab. So much space picked up here by the Omen, but not able to find the kill. Now we're in a 1v1. Shazam and Mata, the paint shells to push him away from the spike. Mata needs to play the clock beautifully here. Shazam taps it once, sprays him down to find the kill, and has plenty of time for the defuse. Sentinels finally wake up. They battle back, they stop the win streak, and they push 8-4.
That was a close one, right? I mean, a good take from Andbox, burnt showstopper at middle. There was a lot of things working against Sentinels in that round, but Shazam able to pull out the 1v1 with low HP. able to figure out just enough of that retake to make it work, so they will maintain that
30 seconds left.
bigger lead as,
Oh,
man, this one
no.
hurts. Yeah, this is the one we're going to replay? Oh, man. Why are you doing it to Mata? Why are you doing it to this guy? He's had a brilliant half, but this was not one of his brighter moments, I guess you could say. Poor guy. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. It's kind of hard to
10
choose.
seconds.
And what is the information just randomly saying? I mean, they're not anywhere. We've completely cleared them. They're probably up on you, Shaz. They pop the cage. He dashes away, and that was rough.
That was rough. You are going to see Sentinels on the attack here on Pistol, dealing with Ye's wall early on. He was trying to get an orb there, but they pressure him off of that.
And I didn't see, but I think it was early snake bites that actually got some damage onto Zoms, and it was interesting.
Oh,
Sick
these
just goes to
walls.
work taking down the wall, easy peasy like, but it opens up options as they rotate back out towards mid. They will be met by Mata, who does have the paint shells online.
Yeah, Mata trying to play around that Nebula, as they are going to take into Mail Room and be Heaven with the bulk of their forces. They have been spotted. Mata able to blindside the first, paint shells to escape. Looks like he might even look to repeat here. Dapper still out, not looking the right way. That's easy pickings for Mata.
Remaining.
Yeah, and this pistol round, I mean, Andbox,
It's
they
over.
just find a way to pick up the pistol, a flawless at that, and now this
Wow.
is where we need to see, okay, Andbox tighten it up, right? Because they lost this round in the first
Sure.
half after winning pistol.
That is a very fair point, Tanner, and they are going to go ahead and get those Spectres, and again, they had that defense. They had that really good... I mean, their A defensive utility is so powerful. It's going to be so hard to get much done early round for Sentinels. Again, you get punished if you try to play through Viper. That wall can be there behind Viper's wall, double wall action. So it can get real messy over there. Looks like they're going to go for the mid focus instead.
And Zoms was first to fall in that last round, so a lot of that utility off the board stings.
True. You can see him there just being the chess master up in the sky,
Yeah.
looking to see how he wants to place a star to set his teammates up. Again, that's... Astra is just so powerful. I think she's just going to become even more of a mainstay as time passes. She just can create so much opportunity for her teammates.
And Mata in the off angle, actually not spotted by any of those peaks there. I would imagine they are privy to this. Flashpoint pushes them back, but Mata still able to find one kill. Another.
Still has Boombot, too. Could send that at any point in time that he wants to set up a further frag.
The Essence repositioned, maybe still expecting. Gets a bit of information, and I imagine spotted hopping over that box. Aftershock, not going to find too much damage. It does separate the team for a moment, but they are stacked up towards the B Heaven area, and they're just trying to find anything they can, but it's the long-range
30
battles
seconds
Andbox forcing them into. It's slowly going their way as another kill
Spike
comes on
down,
through.
B.
Nice swing from Mata to find Sick. Now
Enemy
Zoms and Shazam need to just try and hurt the economy the best they can, but not able to do so, as Ye with the ghost in hand sits them down. So a near flawless coming into this one, but more importantly, they didn't lose that round. They didn't put themselves in a weird economic conundrum for the next few rounds. They're going to have a bonus against the Rifles here of Sentinels.
Is that a lobster or a crab?
I looked away to take a drink. I didn't see it, unfortunately.
Probably for the best. I swear I always see new stuff I've never noticed myself thanks to our
that?
observers. Yeah.
That's a crab, man. That's Scuttle. That's Scuttle crab.
Just never seen a green crab before. Fair enough, I haven't seen a green lobster either, but I mean, there's a whole lot going on in this universe, so, you know, you never know what you might come across.
Yeah.
Looking
We've
forward to
seen a-
Breeze, by the way. There have been some leaks about that. Maybe there'll be crabs there as well.
100%.
Does seem like an environment where crabs would thrive.
Maybe less worms and squirrels like we see on Icebox. As things got busy for a moment over towards B, Boombot for some information, but it's not a push just yet from Sentinels. This is their first rifle round, so they want to take it slow, make sure they're not getting caught off guard, and it's the close angles that is really going to pay off for a handful of these members. You take a peek at Mata and Ye, though, they've got a couple of Phantoms. They're in a pretty good spot to try and secure this bonus.
A lot of map control being taken by Sentinels, though, here very early on in the round. They already have mid and rotes threatened. Viper's alone defending A Heaven right now, as B Heaven's being reinforced as well as B site. That wall got dropped down on that B cross to keep Andbox guessing a little bit on that end. Vi slipping into an interesting position, but it could easily get pinched. I mean, this is not looking good
30
on this
seconds
bonus.
left.
Not even a bonus, rather.
Wow, looks away at the worst possible time. But the toxic screen goes back up, and here comes that pinch that you talked about. Out from heaven, Shazam will come, and Mata finds another kill, trading it back, so it's not for free, as the site looked fairly clear. They're running out of time, though. Spike in hand, Dapper looking to get that one back down towards the back of side as Mata hops on through Shazam to sit him down, and Seb, the last one standing, but not for long. The first rifle to go the way of Sentinels, and they're back in the win column.
Yeah, so that was still fairly a bonus, right? They had 3 Spectres, 2 Phantoms, so it's kind of a midway, I guess you could say. But now they're going to be coming into kind of a weird full buy because they did buy those 2 Phantoms. So it means that Spectres, it's going to be the reverse, right? 3 Phantoms, 2 Spectres now. So Showstopper available, though, for Mata, so that gives him a little bit of a punch he could pack. Res available for Sick, however, so something else to take into consideration. Looks like we are going to see a little bit of split pressure from Sentinels here early in this round. Mid control as well as some A presence, but all these walls, all these cages and smokes. Seb going to get on that boosted position early as well. May not have been detected. May not come into play, though, as we see Sentinels really pivot.
This wall, not too eluding just yet, right? They faked off it in the last. So you're not too sure. You don't want to really send the rotations.
Ooh,
As
that's
10
big.
somehow snuck up towards this B site and finds, unfortunately, Mata.
I think Sentinels were
healed up.
banking that Tins would not be found out with that wall placement, that he would have, been kind of shrouded in mystery, but they picked up on it, and that's an early pick, folded, but they still are able to take the site thanks to the wall and the grab well.
Ooh, but boy, holding it down all by himself now. Flashpoint to go through. It does find the stuns, and it is a Phantom in hand. Not going to be one of those Spectres to just yet. As Mata shoots not only the Showstopper, but the paint shells.
Oh,
to
no.
pick up a couple of kills, but they're traded right back. It was all for naught. It's down to the last 2. This time, Zoms will fall from that position, and Dapper will be traded out eventually as Ye finds himself 1 ult tip away from the resurrection. But yeah, I think Andbox fans are holding their breath after watching that round.
Yeah, that almost kind of slipped through their fingers after those 2 pieces missed and Sentinels responded with the frag of their own. But again, I think so much was riding on Tins being undetected. Being on the other side of the wall that maybe Andbox wouldn't have anticipated, but they read that pretty well. Got the pick on 10s, got the free 5 on 4, and even with the site taken, they were able to come back just fine. And now Sentinels will be on pretty much Sheriff's only, a couple of classics even in play, and so a great chance for Andbox to keep building this comeback, to keep that 2-0 a possibility.
Oh, I love the attempt there with the classic. Try and spray down the barrier orb. Satchel actually, okay, not used. I thought Tens may have scuffed the blast pack there trying to get over that wall, but instead he just jump peeks. He's going to toss out that boom bot and get the information, and somebody's playing inside of ropes as it makes its leave back towards mid. There's the wall. This time it's going to be a quick take, and at the very least, Sentinels can hope for a spike plant. There was the blades online, but Shazam gets sat down. It's absolutely terrible. Okay, resurrection going to be used, and this time it's Sick to fall instead of Shazam, so the Blade Storm still available. Shazam goes up top. He is eventually going to fall again. That's 2 deaths on the round, and Ye over the top. Resurrection traded, and Andbox are not giving this one up easy. It looks flawless. It looks like an ace because that's exactly what it was.
So well managed by Andbox there, as they're all going to come together to have a little bit of a dance-off, a little square dancing going on there. Ace for Ye. 8-9, about to tie this thing right back up. This one you thought Sentinels were on the sprint to the finish line to try to force a 3rd map. Andbox said, hold on a minute. As they get their reds off and didn't even need it. As Ye will ace his way into the victory. But here's a really important full buy round for both teams, Tanner. This could really dictate the pace of how the rest of this map plays out, as the economy is so fragile for Sentinels. They have bought down to their bottom dollar to pull this one off, and if they lose, they're right back to saying that's where Andbox can take the lead and get the double digits first. And Seb certainly putting the right step in the right direction with those 2 kills.
and Tens just had no idea where he was using that shrouded step. Now Aftershock traded out for the tailwind. Shazam still looking to get aggressive, but you said it, this round's huge for Sentinels. They start to battle back, but Yate is there. A 6th kill in 2 rounds for the Sage. He does get traded. Seb uses that from the shadows. Saw Zombs going into that astral form, trying to get some of those stars down. Dark cover going to be used just to mask the movement. Shazam going to walk in blindly, and it's a 3K for the Omen. Andbox not only looking to tie things up here, but quite possibly take a lead in the next round because of this economy that Sentinels is now on. They hear the footsteps. Blast pack goes down. Zombs at the very least hoping for a spike plant, maybe a kill here on Damada. It's a tall ask. Unfortunately, takes too much damage. On the way back, Gravity Well to try and slow things down. He does have the spike, so some extra credits to help that economy, but I can't imagine this round with 47 HP goes Zomb's way.
Not looking good for Zombs, is it?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page with that.
The hashtag Zombs Nation could put things in his favor as he picks up one, picks up another, almost a third. Not enough power. There wasn't enough energy.
I almost got wrecked there. I did almost get absolutely bodied. Tie game now. 9 apiece. Spike plant gives Sentinels a little bit more options as well as the loss bonus, but still not as comfortable as they'd want to be, so they have to take kind of the middle of the road approach, just get slightly upgraded weapons, but making sure they don't hamstring themselves going forward to get the full buy next round. So it's that situation we were talking about earlier where their fragile economy and Seb's strong opening means that we are going to see Andbox very likely reach double digits first in this contest. And again, they're already a match to good, and we've already seen Sentinels get upset once in this stage in Challengers 1, and it might be happening here again shortly unless they can fight back soon. That wall not as well placed, but yay, they'll let the operator to handle it anyway.
Yep,
maybe
actually,
on purpose.
Yeah, perfectly placed as they creep up thinking the same thing we were thinking. They're met by
a little
the
bit of
operator.
mind games, maybe.
Yeah.
Little 4D chess. Although I guess chess is always in 4 dimensions because time. So I don't know. I'm not going to take that any further. We'll let that one go.
Yeah, not a big chess guy here, so I got nothing to help you out there.
Not a big dimensions guy either, so those theoretical things, whatever they may be. Looks like Andbox are about to get the 10. Go on. What are you going to say? You got some theories? Okay.
No, we're just digging a hole for ourselves, for anybody who does know what we're talking about, because we don't. As Mana finds a couple of pistols. Dapper now has been good with the Ghost. Unfortunately, shows a bit too much there. And you know, Cypher with the hat on is just too much of an easy target. You saw it there. He gets shot down. It's a flawless round for Andbox. And more importantly, Dust, you called it out 2 rounds ago. You said Sentinels need to win this rifle because their economy stinks. And what that meant is if you lose that rifle, you're back on pistols, and Andbox will find themselves in the lead. And that's exactly what's happened. Andbox, I believe, have won 4 in a row now.
Yes.
And it's getting scary. There's an operator, Ye feeling himself. They're going into that next rifle, but you put yourself in that same conundrum because the economy is just absolutely shattered.
Well, you're going to have to force by the rest of the game if you lose now, if you're Sentinels. Yeah. And so this is really your only chance to put your best foot forward unless you can string together some rounds in a row. So this is going to be a potentially very big round. Shazam with the swiftness, trying to catch someone off guard, but no one giving him that chance. Mata instead playing on the smoke. He's going to bypass the showstopper. He might get some of his own. His own rockets come out. They land true, but Sick is still keeping his team out in front.
Yeah, and with the Viper's Pit, they have to go B. You cannot just send it over towards that A site, and that's exactly the case. Dapper use that ultimate to try and find the information. So now knows both coming from heaven. Sentinels with the man advantage here in this. All 3 playing right underneath. There's the resurrection, quite possibly for a bait. Tens was the bait, and it works perfectly. Sentinels tie us up.
I was a little bit concerned for Sentinel's chances when you saw Mata kind of slip around and slither into a good position, but only good for the 1. And Sick was massive that round. Again, we talk about how he's perhaps the best player in North America. So consistent, so versatile in what roles he can play for his team. And he came up huge that round to kind of erase away what could have been a very scary moment, as it's now all equal once more. Man, these games have been such tight contests, so exciting to watch. The tension at an all-time high. Yes, there is a lower bracket, but you do not want to be there this early.
This is, I would say pretty historically the Sentinels way, though. They do find their way down into that loser's bracket sometimes, and they usually win all the way through. Oh, Mata peeks up just a bit too far, but it's traded back. That's the best you can hope for. The Cosmic Divide comes down. Vice to find another kill. Make it a second on the round. Sentinels now cut down to the last two in a resurrection to make this very favorable for Andbox, looking to reclaim a lead here as Sick tries to dance around the Cosmic Divide. The spike to be planted, and unfortunately, Mata is there to hear that.
He's trying to throw a bit of a fake, like he's not in screens because of that wall, and he's actually going to flank around a heaven. This could be massive. They might not have this idea.
They all drop down from heaven, though. Seb to find that first kill. Now he's spotted out, and Sick doesn't have the same outcome as the last. Andbox battle back, they reclaim a lead, and are now 1 round away.
That was a good thought from Sick, but too much was lost along the way to be able to pull that off, unfortunately. He seems excited, Seb. I would be too. They're on the verge of sending Sentinels to the lower bracket. The champions of Stage 1 may not even find themselves in the regional finals of Stage 2 if this keeps up and they get knocked down to the lower bracket and they get put in a do-or-die situation. They would be in a really stressful situation. Andbox might be one of the teams doing it to them here. They are closer to map point now. Money is running low for Sentinels as well. Still plenty of reserve cash for Andbox on most of their players. What a game we've been gifted.
Yeah, this, I mean, this series, right? The Haven going to double OT. Now this one quite possibly having that same outcome.
Here.
Much slower approach. All 5, though, going to be stacked up towards mid for Sentinels on the attack. Gonna split things up, boy, here. Any information is the Rolling Thunder, and they are just gonna send it. They run right into each other into the Nebula smoke, and Tens gets sat down. Mata, unfortunately, traded out in that exchange, so a lot of utility taken off the board from the Rays. And it just buys time. 1 kill, 1 ultimate, and a lot of time knocked off the clock. A minute just under for Sentinels to continue to play with, and they're still mid.
Yeah, no ults are gonna factor in anymore after that. 4-on-4. As the exchange on mid has broken out. Still a lot of time left on the clock. However, Sentinels are going to take control of ropes. There is the breach sitting there, boy, waiting for them to perhaps rein in, but instead they're diverting. They're taking B Heaven control. There is 2 defenders nearby. Ye in the back of the site. And now we have Seb creeping underneath left. Heaven as he will smoke things up. We just see Sentinels continue to penetrate here, maybe even into defending spawn halls, but Boy has that covered as well. The smoke to fake it. They're now pouring in. They catch Seb. This could be a problem for Ye.
Only 2. 1 on the site, 1 near the site. Ye picks up 1. Only good for that as we find ourselves in a 2v3. Flashpoint. Blind up 1. The spike planter going to be taken down now. Vice has to go huge. He has since rotated all the way over from the safe side, and he cuts it down to a 1v1, but Dapper to clutch it out and tie us up again.
At 11 HP to spare, such a tight race. You could see that the main play was Boy trying to stop the plant. That was where they had put most of their eggs as far as baskets and the such goes. They were trying to win it that way, but he wasn't quite quick enough, and it put Vice in a very tough 1v2. He got it down to a 1v1, but just could not find that final frag. And now it comes down to this. 11 apiece, ults in play now. A res and daggers for Shazam and Sick. Full guns across the board other than Shazam with the Spectre, but again, that daggers is going to, you know, make that a little bit different. Gives him the long range and the short range capabilities. He dashes up, but he misses, but so does Ye. They both will back off here a little bit and have to reconsider things. Looks like Sentinels are trying to play past this Viper wall here.
And a gap in the defense is there. Seb gonna take a bit of damage, chipped away as he tried to peek from Heaven. Ten's gonna look to go aggressive. Ye with the operator gonna go wide on the shot, but Seb is there to back him up. Now Dapper needs to be careful, playing up in this angle. Cloudburst to try and buy some space, buy some time for Dapper maybe to sneak away, but he holds it down. Still up top on this Ramps position.
What a catch from Seb. Not an easy shot to hit with Tins coming at you that fast off the blast pack, but they get it done. They have the 5-on-4. Shazam, though, taking a lot of progression here in the A side. Spike will make its way in as well, so it will come down to a retake. There is still a res available for Sick. Unfortunately, no one's really in reach. Well, that could still be factored in. Mata, though, on this flank could be huge. Will they read it or will they not? If not, it could be a problem. The ult for Intel. Mata now has been found out, but he's so close, but not quite.
Just about everybody alive here. Now Dapper finally to fall. Sick playing on top of that barrier orb. Shazam inside elbow. There's the resurrection though. So Sentinels just sending it all here to try and push the match point. But it's falling apart. It's all up to Sick, who was once playing on top of that barrier orb. The spike not planted for the stage here. Just looking to send it, but it's not enough. Everybody dies. A near flawless for Andbox. 12 rounds now in their possession. They're looking to close out the series in this next.
Yeah, just that flank from Mata, it was the disrupting factor. Even if he didn't get that many kills, he was able to create so much pressure, and it allowed freedom elsewhere on the map. And now look at what Sentinels are left with, Tanner. They do have the one Vandal onto Tins, but Spectres for Shazam and Zombs, a Sheriff only for Dapper. Sick also just gonna have a Sheriff. They have no ults available, though Dapper's one away from a Neural Theft, which could be pivotal. Meanwhile, a fully decked out Andbox ready to defend whatever Sentinels throws at them. Wall busted in mid early here by Shazam, but still have yet to be able to make that progress towards mailroom or garage. Six spotted. He will wall up, but stunned, so he can't build off of it just yet. Looks like they're trying to threaten mailroom, but Ye is holding them off.
And so that's the second time, maybe third, that we've seen that wall used as a fake. And that's the rifle off the board. Surely will be picked up, but that one hurts. You still have your two players close to the ultimates in that Neural Theft and the Cosmic Divide. Yeah, you're in a bad spot, boy. You're gonna sniff that one out with the jump peek. Not gonna find the flash with the flashpoint. Playing around the wall was Sick, so he's okay for now. There's the flash though. In response, Dapper to fall as well. Spike now down inside, and this could be it. Dust. Yeah. It's down to Zombs and Shazam. The tailwind to get away. Zombs still all wrapped up here with the Spectre, but he's gonna have to answer to Seb, and that's gonna do it. Andbox will take down the Titans and send them to the losers bracket in 2-0 fashion.
And on two of their best maps, man. Again, they had only lost 2 times on Haven in the last 26 games. They'd only lost like 4 of their last 20 games on Split. These are some of their most dominant maps, and it's considered the best team in NA. The former Stage 1 champions, multiple champions across several events throughout this year and towards the end of 2020. Always in the top 3, seemingly. And now they've been upset twice already in this stage by BBG and Challengers 1, and now here by Andbox and Challengers 2. And actually, that's Challengers 1 qualification with BBG, so forgive me on that one. But Andbox, the flip side of that script is they look so impressive. That round, I just want to point out how disciplined Boy was to not swing all the way with Breach when he missed those initial shots, to wait it out, be patient, re-flash point, play the crossfire. They just seem to be so well in tune with each other throughout this series. Defensively, they were just so good on both maps, man. Their rotations were so on point. Their synergy seemingly always there. Seb, such a good decision maker when he's had to anchor things by himself. Ye obviously popping off with the frags, like an ace here on this map. Rifle didn't matter. He was having impact. Mata, impressed by him too. He's kind of, you know, the rookie on the server, right? Not having played as much Valorant as many of the other players on this match, and he stepped up when he needed to and had big results. And I mean, Andbox looking impressive this series. No doubt about that.
And the best part about that is I love seeing the team be able to pick each other up in certain situations, right? Map 1, it seemed like the Mata show playing incredibly well. Everybody started to creep up that leaderboard with him. Then this one, Mata kind of off to a slower start, but Ye right there with him, playing the Sage, so a bit more supportive, but still just as aggressive. We see him up top there, and that is actually, that's funny because in this end game screen here where we get the stats, the 2 MVPs are our head-to-head, and that's exactly why everything they bring to the table, you know, not just necessarily on one map, but across the board, and specifically that flexibility in playing the Sage. That is really cool to see as a whole, and it's awesome to see. For me, I felt like Andbox Andbox is kind of maybe not necessarily considered tier 1, and I know the tier 1 is the conversation is kind of all over the place, but like the gatekeepers, like right at the cusp, and again, I might upset some people in saying this, but definitely not the team to beat here in Challengers 2. And now they're looking like the team to beat, right? Because they just beat Sentinels. So I want to get your thoughts on this, because I think there's two philosophies. Is it Sentinels slowing down, or is it Andbox now starting to catch up?
Well, I think no doubt that Sentinels had a slow start on Haven. Like, I don't think you could really doubt that. Like, they certainly weren't playing up to their normal level on Haven to kick things off. They fell behind very early and very substantially, and they had to really claw themselves back into it. So I think that, at least on that map, in that particular scenario in the first half, it did seem like just a cold start from Sentinels. But then when you look deeper, again, Andbox were playing very intelligently. They were very good on their rotations on Haven in particular, very good at being aggressive when they needed to be. Seb was great at anchoring. That was a constant theme throughout the series, by the way. And then when you flip sides, Sentinels were the ones who got the hot start. It was, Andbox starting off a little slow, but then they recovered so well to, get those, the last 3 out of 4 rounds, I think it was in the first half, to keep the score somewhat close, then just go on a roll defensively on Split, right? It looked like it was kind of a mixture, because on the one hand, it seemed like Vice wasn't that impressive with Viper, but on the other hand, the rest of the team was playing so well. And he was still doing his job anchoring that A site and getting information. Yeah. He set up Seb a couple different times with his boost, with the Shrouded Step. So he still had value even if he wasn't getting frags. And he had like a really big round towards the end of the game where he did have like a 2 or 3K on A site to help his team finish off the match. So he did step up when he needed to in that round. So yeah, as always, it's a combination of the two, isn't it? Right? Very impressive from Andbox, but Sentinels was still a little bit lesser than what you'd expect from them.
Well, they still have some life on the line now. Andbox going to be hanging out nice and pretty, and I believe they are looking to take on Cloud9 Blue in that upper semifinals. Cloud9 Blue sent T1 down to that lowers to play Sentinels later on in the day. As for us, though, we're not done just yet. We do have to hop away for a quick break. And speaking of teams that took down Sentinels, next on the horizon, guys, Built by Gamers, are going to be taking on NRG. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you in just a sec.
Welcome to Decoded, where we break down all the best strats and plays from the VALORANT Champions Tour to help you in your ranked games. Today we're going to be specifically looking at the operator and how to couple that with your agent's abilities. So, while listening to me, let's see how the pros do it. Ever notice how the Jet player on pro teams is usually the one with the operator? That's because her unique movement abilities pair perfectly with the gun to safely create openings and get those entry picks. Her tailwind dash can interrupt the post-fire cocking animation after you take that operator shot. Use this to immediately dash behind cover after you take your shots to ensure the opponents can't trade back in or punish. Jet's updraft is another great tool when it comes to operating. Use this ability to reach higher vantage points on the map where opponents are less likely to expect you. This small roof on Bind, B-site, is a great example of a sightline that updraft allows you to hold. Here's another couple of locations for you guys to try. Keep in mind that other agents can also use their abilities to reach some of these locations, including Omen's Shrouded Step or Razor's Blast Packs. Now, let's hear from Baby Bay on how he likes to utilize Jet's mobility when playing that up.
I feel like there aren't a lot of other heroes that can get away with as much as Jet can with the operator. When you have the op and you're playing Jet, and you have your dash up especially, you can go for these ballsy peaks that like people don't expect you to do. You combine Jet with an op and she is a nasty hero, and it's definitely a lot of instinct that goes into it. It's a lot of fast thinking, like a lot of reactionary thinking. You can get into these sticky situations and get out. Peeking into a molly and just dashing away, going for like just aggro picks on riflers all the time. Even oppers, because if they miss their shot and you take your shot, you can just dash away instantly.
Smokes and walls are an essential tool for oppers, especially on defense. They can be used in a number of different ways, like denying vision from your enemies or potentially faking your location. When holding angles like Ascent A main, try to cover the site entry with a smoke. This allows you to safely hold the angle from A heaven without being spotted by the opponents until they emerge from the smoke. At which point, there's nowhere for them to take cover. Here's a couple more locations to try.
Going up. Launching smoke.
You can also use your smokes as a bait. Take a look at how CNED uses them here to bait the enemy. As soon as he gets the first pick, the enemy team knows he's got an operator this round. At this point, most AWPers would smoke off and try and retreat to a safer vantage point, but CNED's built a little different. This is where he goes for the bait. He walks into the smoke instead of away from it and is able to catch 3 more players from Rix off guard by toying with their expectations. Now let's recap everything we've learned so you'll be ready to op like a pro in your next ranked game. As Jet, use her tailwind to dash behind cover after taking your shot. Use her updraft to reach unique vantage points and sightlines. As any agent with a smoke or passable wall, cover key site entrances to hold risky angles more safely. Or use the smokes to fake your location and catch enemies off guard. Try incorporating these pro op strats into your play and see how your rank improves. Thank you for tuning into Decoded. Be sure to tune into the VCT to learn more pro strats to bring into your rank games. No excuses now. And again, for all that information you may need, the matches that are upcoming or maybe the schedule, head on over to ValorantEsports.com. Nice and easy. And again, we'll be seeing you next time for more tips and tricks direct from those VCT pros.